My name is Karago, and my passion began when I was about 12 years old. And it began because I had a neighbor who was in a fashion college. And what used to happen every end of day is that I would go, or I'd wait for her, and then I would carry her goods or her bags, and she had all these big rollers, and you can imagine when you're like a 12-year-old, you're kind of really short. And I'd go to her home, and I'll sit on her large cutting table, and I'd watch her design things and draft them, and then and some days I'd go and see how she's getting about with her stitching. And I think that is where my passion grew. And then it was from there, then my mom had like a sewing machine in the house, and she used to stitch things for us. In those days, I think parents believe in making petticoats for their kids and that kind of thing. And I took a bit of interest, but because I didn't know much about the sewing machine, I did a lot of things with hand stitching. So I used to do a lot of knitwear, and also I used to do just clothes for my pet dog, just to try a few materials here and there. Yeah, and my dog used to complain and run away from me, and here I would chase it all over the place. But I was so persistent in this area of fashion design. I think for me, what is key is that first, you as an individual, you must have something in your body that you love to show off. So let's first work around that. Others could be their cleavage, others could be their legs, others could be their arms, something that they want to show off, but the rest they want to hide. So we work around that part. It has to be an individual style, because between two people or two different sizes, you could be a size 10 or a size 8 and a size 16. So the 2 or 3 different sizes can wear the same thing, you know? So you cannot come when you're a size 16 and insist you want to wear a size 8. It will not look nice on you. So we try and tell our clients, or we give advice. And also the fabrics is also important, because there are fabrics that flow well on a curvy person, and the fabrics that sit well on a smaller person. So we also advise on that. When I finished my O-level, I approached my dad, and I told him, Dad, I want to do tailoring. It was still called tailoring in those days. And my dad looked at me and told me, I didn't take you to school to become a tailor. And I was like, but that is what I want to do. So he told me, that is next to impossible. There's no way you're going to be in a tailoring school. So he just looked at me, he kept quiet, and I just walked out of his office. And then I went to cry to my mom, and I begged my mom, we have to look for a fashion school or a tailoring school in Nairobi. And I got into a local school. And in this local school, I was amazed by the kind of things people were doing. And I remember I went a term later. And because of such passion that I had, my teachers saw it in me. So they used to do after classes tuitions, so that I can catch up with the rest of the school. This is one of my favorite pieces, and why I say it's my favorite piece is that you can wear it over anything. You can wear it over your shirt, you can wear it over your t-shirt, and you can wear it over anything that has a bottom. Yeah. So for instance, I'm wearing this color, but I'll choose the black. So this just gives a twist or an edgy look into your fashion. So if I was to wear this, it also changes the way I look. You see, it's cheeky. It has a zip here. So it's something different. Though it's a waistcoat, but it's something different to wear. And I love to wear this sort of things. So I was there for about 2 years, and I graduated with distinction. And then from there, I was like, now what? What after this, you know? But this time, Nairobi was not open to the industry. I don't think there was any fashion designer in those days. And if they were just from the same colleges we were all coming from, and everybody was trying to figure out what exactly to do. My other favorite thing is on the other side. It's this shirt. It has this army look print, and I love print, but my print has to have something unique in it. And this sort of tops, as you can see, most of the shop is full of tops. This is something that you can wear over trousers, jeans, whatever. You can either dress it up or you can dress it down. So it's an easy thing to wear, and it can be worn by any type of body. And you can wear it for a special occasion, or you can dress it down depending on what it is that you're going to wear it with. I actually joined a beauty school because I was like, now here, I'm not so sure which way to go. So I decided, let me just continue in school. So I joined a beauty school, and I think I was there for a year. And then after which I worked in a salon. And I was actually a manicurist, a pedicurist. I did all those sort of things. And then after a while, one of my aunties encouraged me, and she told me, Sally, you need to expose yourself. You need to get out of this town. Go overseas and learn more about fashion. But by then, I had already started like a little workshop. Yeah, so I had a cutting table, I had a sewing machine, and I had one tailor. And this was all the way in Karen. So every morning I had to go pick my tailor, bring him over, go look for clients, take measurements, and these were just friends, and then design for them something, and then make for them, and then take them all the way for them to fit, and then bring them all the way back home for alteration. So I went back and forth for almost a year. I also like this sort of pieces. As you can see, everything of mine is loose. Everything that I do is loose. Yeah, and this also can be worn, like I say, over anything that you want. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. If you wear it with jeans, you can wear it with your trainers. That is dressing it down. If you want it to be something different and unique, you can wear something like flared trousers, which are now in fashion, and heels or boots, and you can dress it up, and maybe a hat or even a scarf. In the year 1987, I left for Europe. I went to a school that was called the London School of Fashion Design. It was actually just off Oxford Street. And I went there and I learned fashion designing and merchandising. And I was there for 4 years. After which, I came now back to Nairobi. But before I came to Nairobi, I joined a course for hat making. And because I was paying for this course and it became a bit too expensive to stay in London, I decided I'll come back home and maybe one day I'll go back and do the hat making course. In Kenyan market, we've never had local designers, yeah? So why not start from my nation, yeah? Why not start from where So after which I continued doing my made to measure. My sisters were working in the corporate world. They would bring me clients, and I'd go to their offices, measure a skirt, take it back to my workshop, have the tailors do it, take it back to their offices. The client would keep me somewhere waiting for an hour or two just to fit one skirt at about 800 shillings. So it was a difficult start at the beginning. But I told myself I should not despise this small beginning. I used to tell myself that these people one day will come to me. I will not be going to office from office to office, you know. So when the Face of Africa came, it was an initiative for Mnet Face of Africa. It was called the Mnet Face of Africa. And they were looking for a face that will represent Africa, and were also looking for fashion designers to dress this Face of Africas. So the first one happened in East Africa. So I was picked among a couple of designers who had come within East Africa to represent Kenya, and then after which I was to represent East Africa. So I did my collection, and my collection, I had something that was so special in my collection, and that was the porcupine quill. And that is what the Mnet Face of Africa chose me for that, for just that one porcupine quill. So I made a 12-piece collection using the porcupine quill. And I remember looking for those porcupine quills, which were a difficult thing to get because one was quite expensive. So what I did, I went to Kikomba and I found a young Kamba guy, and I told him, I'm looking for this thing. He told me, this is a porcupine quill. And then he asked me, how many pieces do you want? I told him 900. He told me, are you crazy? 900, where do you get porcupine quills? So anyway, so he told me, give me a week and I'll get you those porcupine quills. So he went, I guess, I don't know where he got them from, but within a week or two, he brought me the 900 porcupine quills. So when I opened the basket, I was like, oh my goodness, these are so many. I know they're sharp at the end. So, and I had to make a collection using them because that was the difference that I was going to bring into my collection. I think it was maybe 2001. We had the first Face of Africa, and it was held at the Safari Park. And my collection opened the show, and I was chosen as a designer and also as a judge for that show. Then the following year, they were now going to do the Face of Africa. Now they had picked all the faces of Africa they were looking for. And so they picked me to represent East Africa in Zimbabwe. So we were about 4 designers from Africa and 1 designer from New York. And I made a collection, and my collection was based about on Kenya and all the things that we have within our Kenya culture. And I remember that I was seated with all these high flyers designers because I was only 4 years in the fashion industry. So I was a bit scared, you know, but my collection stood out also in that Face of Africa. This dress is worn by Anita, and it's one of the collections that I'll be selling over my summer, around September. Yes, so we begin making our collections earlier than the actual time, and it's like you can see, it's just a one-shoulder garment, and it's something that it's a flow. It flows quite easily on the lady, and this can be worn by all sizes. You can either wear it with a belt and you can make it loose, or you can wear it without the belt, depending on your body size. The people I look up to internationally, I actually like designers from Israel. I probably may not know their names, but what I know is their style, because they have a bohemian, a loose look. I look also into the Moroccan people on the way they style. You know, they wear a lot of kaftans And then when you go to the desert, they wear things that they tie up together and come up with one outfit. Yeah, so that is the kind of style I sort of like, and I find that the styles that draw me a lot are designers who are from Israel. I don't know why. Yeah, whether I'm in America, whether anywhere, I may pass shops like Chanel, all these big names, but nothing speaks to me. But when I go in, I can even tell that this design is from an Israeli designer. Yes, but the person I also like is Michael Kors for a long, long time. When he's on TV or when he's doing this Project Runway or when I'm traveling, I think one of the biggest shops I first must visit is I want to see what Michael Kors has done.
To hear that people appreciate what I do and are fans, it's fantastic. It's great.
And I think I like his style because it's very commercial, and I think he designs for every kind of body. But let me talk about my local celebrities, and I love to work with them, and they are the muses for the Sally collection design. And this Pinky Gilani, and there's Koki, who is our first captain pilot, lady pilot. I've also dressed all the first ladies in our nation, from our first lady who's Mama Ngina. Yeah, I did a lot for her on made-to-measure basis. I also did for Lucy, yeah, who used to come to my office in Gong Road, because that's where I had a workshop too. And also our recent first lady, Margaret, who has come to our shop and bought some of my pieces. And then came Julie Gishuru, and Julie Gishuru, a free spirit and loving to support Made in Kenya. And in 2009, in May, I started the school, and it's called the Martinsville School of Fashion Design. And we started at Gong Road. We started with 1 student, and now we are close to 80 students. And now we moved from Gong Road, and now we're at Adler's Plaza on 3rd floor. Fashion has still not peaked in Kenya, and it was still a struggle. You get one client here, you get another client here, and then maybe another 1 month, another client came. So what I did is that I broke into the corporate wear. I went to a hotel, which I'll say it was a Norfolk hotel, and I was sitting there, and I looked at the waiters, and they were dressed in all these baggy waistcoats. I never thought waistcoats were meant to be baggy. I thought they were meant to be fitted. So I got my courage, and I went to see the general manager, whom I knew then, and I told him, please, just give me a chance. I would love to dress one of your waiters into something that fits them, and to something that they feel that they're happy to wear, even when they're serving. So he told me, okay, then go ahead. So then he gave me the job, and I did my first corporate job, which was with Norfolk. And then from there, they opened other doors. And then after that, then I was known within the corporate wear that there's a designer who's come to town who is designing these uniforms. And I used to actually draw illustrated pictures, and I'll take fabrics and I'll explain myself, and people had never seen that. Challenges have always been there. Even as much as I tell you about my story, challenges have always been there from the day I began. First, mostly it's the finances, because banks were not easily available to offer the creative loans, and because we didn't have assets. Our only assets were machinery, you know? I know those are movable things, and those things depreciate every year, you know? So finances was something that was also really hard for me at the beginning. And then number two, clients. You can spend 2 weeks doing a client's garment, and the client comes, and just one small mistake, they don't want to pay, they leave angry, and they go. So you have a bag full of clothes, rejected clothes, and it was just a small mistake. Some people are impatient, some people gave us, other chances and many chances. Yeah. And I think the other thing is that in Nairobi, we don't have speciality, let's say like in tailoring, unless you take your tailor and tailor them. But we don't have people who are specialized in certain things. Another thing that I found challenging is also rents. Rents in our malls are quite expensive, yeah? Now, we want to sell our products to our Kenyan people, yeah? And the rent may surpass what people also buy. So sometimes we have to go to our own pockets and, and pay that sort of difference, yeah? But we believe with time, people will continue appreciating the products that we have. God-given gift